Oh, there, there we go. We are live. Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you today. I just want you all to know ahead of time, I cannot see the comments, but there will be other people watching the comments. And I'm super excited to be here. We are across multiple Facebook pages, and we are talking about the elements of digital success this week. And this is our conference. There's a few beautiful business owners that work online, and we are all contributing to this together to kind of give you guys an idea of what it takes to be an online business owner. So you can see I've got my slideshow. What I'm working on with you today is establishing a credible brand. And so there we go. Okay, so establishing a credible brand. So first of all, what is a brand? A brand is an identity mark, or identifying mark, trait, or feature. So if you look in this background here, here's a whole bunch of brands that a lot of people know. They're huge, they'll be around the world, and they have established these brands by making them identifiable and getting them out there to people to where they become some kind of household name, right? So what does it mean to brand yourself? Now, before I go, I'm going to introduce myself in a few slides. I have a little slide about myself, so you'll get to know who I am a little bit better. But what does it mean to brand yourself on social media? So we're all on social media. If you're here watching this right now, you're on social media right now. So what does it mean to brand yourself? People know what's important to you. They know who you are. They can know you on a personal level. They learn to like you, and eventually they're building that trust with you. And you give consistent, relevant content pertaining to yourself and what you do, right? So when you're building this brand, you are building something beautiful that people can learn to know and like and trust. And when they see something from you, they're going to go, oh yeah, that's from this person, right? And so that's what we're all trying to do. Whether you run an online business or not, you portray some kind of brand, even if it's on your personal profile. Before I ever ran an online business, I had a persona out there on Facebook. People knew what they were going to expect from me. And there was a couple times that I posted and it was very out of character for me, the things that I would say or what I would post. And I would have people coming to me in Messenger privately and things like that and saying, are you okay? What's changed? And they would start inquiring as to if I was okay or if they could help with something because I posted so out of character. So whether we like it or not, we create a brand for ourselves on social media. And so it's important to think about what you are portraying when you're posting on even your personal page, but especially if you decide to branch into an online business and you have a business page and you have people all over the world that you are reaching, it's important that you know what you are reaching them with. So this is me. My name is Talia Zem. I am a wife, a mother, I'm an online business owner. So this is my brand. When people look at me on social media, what am I trying to have them see? So you can see some of these pictures that I posted on here. What I want people to see in my business is that I do my business for my family because I'm creating that family time and it's important. So I talk about my family time all the time. I'm also a creative person. I like to showcase my creative side and what I can do. And so I try and share that often on my business page and on my personal page as well, because it's who I am. I love to be creative. We also love to travel a lot as a family. We love to explore. We love to experience things. And so I also post a lot about that. I enjoy helping others. I have a coaching group that I'm a part of. I talk with people on a daily basis and I help them. And I try to convey that as much as possible in my online presence as well. I love to smile. I love to make other people smile. And so you're not very often going to see me post a picture where I'm not happy, because, well, and to be honest with you, I strive on a very daily basis to be a happy person. And so, and to find the joy in the small moments. And I try and showcase that even the smallest moments and the little things in our life that we can be happy about. I'm also a homeschool mom and a foster mom, and I talk about that and I'm proud of that. And I like that to be part of who I am as well. And then on top of that, if you can see right here in this picture, and probably behind me right now, this is my office, this is my studio, and this is kind of my brand. This is what I want people to see when I come on here and I do live videos and I'm showing people myself. This is what I want to be able to portray, right? So it's important to create a brand. This is kind of the brand that I have built over the last, well, I've been on Facebook for, I don't know, what has it been, 16 or 17 years now. And for the most part, my brand has stayed relatively consistent with the things that are most important to me. Obviously, it changes as we grow, and that's okay. But when you go from your personal page and you move into some business, it's important to keep that branding consistent. You don't have to change who you are to run an online business. You just need to showcase who you are and showcase what you're doing so that people can understand and learn to trust who you are, right? So, who do you want people to see? Who do you want everybody to see when they look at you on Facebook or when they see your business or whatever it is that you are trying to portray? We have some areas that you can look at to kind of figure out who you want to be. So, your character. Are you trying to portray somebody who is friendly or playful or warm, authoritative, inspiring? Are you trying to portray somebody who's very professional or somebody who's very approachable, right? So, look at different character traits and kind of find what it is that you want to be portraying. Like I said, I try really hard to portray um, the things in life that make me happy because I do like to be a very happy person. I'm not telling you that I'm happy all the time, but part of branding yourself online as um, as an online business owner or just as a person in general is the beautiful part about social media is we get to be in control of how people portray us or how we are portrayed ourselves and how people see us. And personally, for myself, I want people to see that side of me. My family members, my friends, they know that we all have bad days. And personally, when I have a rough day, I will go to my mom or my husband or a good friend or my sisters or my dad, whoever I need to go to, and I'll talk about that experience or whatever has happened to me. But you won't very often see me posted on Facebook because what I want people to see about me and what I want them to feel from me is I want them to, when they see my post or they see a picture that I posted in my family or the words that I've written, I want them to feel happy and I want them to have those feelings from me, right? So that kind of moves into tone. What's the tone that you want to set on your social media presence? You want to set a tone as somebody who is a very personable person or a humble person. You want to be portrayed as a very honest person, a direct person, a clinical person, scientific, somebody who's business minded, right? And the list goes on and on. So it's important to really decide what kind of tone you want to set. And you can even go so far, if you guys could see my workspace, you would see that I have a few sticky notes and I have reminders around my workspace to remind me of who I want to be, what I need to do, and where I'm going with my business. So you also have things like language and purpose, right? And so look through these traits and these um, options that you have and really define and decide who you are, because you're the one who gets to decide who you are, right? So really define and decide who you are, and then write that down somewhere and put it somewhere where you can see it and remind yourself often, I know I want to be a happy person and I want people to see um, from me honestly about where I'm going and what I'm doing. And I want them to feel like anything is possible from me, right? So decide what you want to share with people. That's really important. So, what does this mean for you? Do you have to change who you are? Absolutely not. Don't change who you are um, to do anything online, social media wise. You don't have to change who you are to create this presence and this branding. What you need to do is you need to discover kind of who you are. It's important to be authentic, consistent, and visible to people. So when you're creating an online presence, um, and say you've created a business page or a group for whatever it is that you're doing, you are far more likely to have some success in that business page or that group or whatever it is you're trying to portray if people can see you. If your face is actually attached to the things that you post and what you are doing, right? So if all you post is maybe motivational quotes, well, that's great. People might be motivated, but they don't know it's from you because your face hasn't been attached to them, right? It's important that as you're creating this brand that you celebrate what makes you different and unique. Um, for many, many years, I was very self-conscious to speak online, to even have any pictures. I was always behind the camera. I took a lot of pictures, but I was so worried about what people were going to think of when they saw me. And specifically, my smile. Because I had comments, and how crazy is this? I had comments that people would say things like, man, your smile is so big. It's like, and people would pick it apart, and I've had people do that, and there are negative people out there, and so it made me self-conscious about my smile. How crazy is that, right? And so I didn't want to be seen because I knew my smile might be different than other people's, or the way that my mouth moved, or the way that I talked. But as I've grown and I've learned and I've discovered in myself that it's a beautiful thing to celebrate. You're my 3-year-old. It's a beautiful thing to celebrate our differences and what makes us unique. They're downstairs playing. Okay, so it's also important that you remember. Okay, okay. Sorry, distraction. It's important that you remember that everyone knows something you don't know, which means that you know something that other people doesn't know, that the other people don't know. Sorry. And it's important that you showcase those things that you know. You don't know everything, and that's okay. And it's okay to say, hey, I don't know everything. Watch me learn this new thing, right? But it's also okay to say, hey, I'm really good at this thing, and I'm going to share it with you guys so that maybe you can learn it, right? Showcase what you know and showcase what you don't know and that you're learning, right? Share and be real. Your real self is exactly who people need to see. They don't need to see a fake self. And I know a lot of people get caught up in saying, oh, some people only post happy things. You don't know what's really going on in their life. Well, you know what? Here's what I do. When something happens to me, I try and look at, okay, maybe I want to share this experience. Like the other day, I'll share this and I'll tell you how I made my spin on it. My sons and I went to go get the mail. And my one son had a little branch, and he was breaking pieces off and tossing them into the road. He wasn't throwing them into the road, but he was tossing them into the road. Well, there was a man who must have had a bad day. And when he drove by us, he must have thought that that stick was being maliciously thrown at his vehicle. And he screeched on his brakes and drove back to us and proceeded to say some very unkind things to my child and myself. And anyways, it was a very negative experience, and it wasn't a very great thing. However, we get to choose how we approach this. And so when I went onto social media, instead of shouting out all kinds of angry things, I decided to take that experience and turn it into a positive one and a learning experience. How about we remember when somebody like that does something like that to us? Yes, it's not right. And while we don't condone that behavior, we have some compassion and we say, you know what? We don't even know. Maybe that guy just got fired from his job. We don't know. Maybe he hasn't worked. We've had this pandemic, you guys, and maybe he hasn't worked for 4 months and bills are getting tight and he is extremely stressed. And so I went home and I talked to my child and I told him, you did nothing wrong. You were like a beautiful child and that should never have happened to you. And we talked about it for a while and he felt okay about it. And then I did post about it on social media, but I turned it into a positive experience, right? And I turned it into a learning experience and encouraging other people to do, to look at experiences from a better point of view, right? So anyways, that's just one way to share your real self, but do it you can spin everything in some kind of better way to lift people's spirits instead of bring them down, right? It doesn't have to be difficult branding yourself and posting on social media. There are beautiful, engaging, inspiring, and educational things in your life every single day. Choose to see them and share them, right? Because they are there. And this is part of branding yourself in a positive way is choosing to see the positive things in your life and share those things with other people and share the good things that you can find, right? You may think that you have nothing to offer. Stop thinking that way because you do. Everybody has something to offer. So what do you need to do and go do right now? What do you need to go and do right now? Remember, again, that you're allowed to change your brand. Your brand will grow with you as you learn. And like I said, my brand way back from when I started on social media a long time ago has always been family-centered. And I have always tried to portray some kind of happy person. But it has grown and developed and included so much more over time. So when you go and build your brand, look at all these different aspects of building your brand and what you want it to entail, right? How you're going to meet all these different aspects and what you want it to look like when you do. So this is me, everybody. Big smile. And this is what I want people to see. And this is what I work to portray in my brand. A mother who is working really hard for her family, for her children. My children are a huge part of who I am and my business. My husband is my biggest supporter. And so it's important that when you're trying to create your brand, that you discover who you want to be. Because who you want to be and who you are is not that different. All it takes is learning and growth to get to who you want to be. So now take the next steps, whatever those next steps might be for you, and go and be who you want to be and brand yourself in that way, right? If you're going to be sharing things in your business, on your groups and your pages, or even on your personal page, make sure that they are things that portray this person that you want to be and that you want to be seen as. Okay. So I hope that this helped you guys. I hope that you learned something. My eternity screen. Let me see if I can. Sorry for that, just a second. I hope that you guys took something away from this and that you could grow and learn and really come to understand that branding yourself is not a difficult thing. And it doesn't need to be something that's scary. I think a lot of people, when they come on and they learn how, oh, look at all the comments. I'm finally back and I can see all your comments. You guys are amazing and beautiful people. So when you're branding yourself across social media, you guys, it doesn't need to be a scary thing. And a lot of people, when they come into the business world, they think, wait a second, I have to create this brand now? How am I going to create a brand? Well, you already know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, that's where you need to start. You need to start by maybe you grab a journal and you write down the 50 things in your life that are most important to you, or maybe 10. Maybe 50 is too big a number. You write down 10 things that are so important to you. And you take those 10 things, and I would put them up for a few days. Okay. And then a few days later, maybe you cross out 5 and you keep 5, the most important ones, the 5 most important things out of those 10. And those 5 things, the ones that maybe drew your eye the most to them throughout your week, that's what you want to build your brand around. Maybe it's family, like me. Maybe it's traveling, because some people traveling is very important, and discovering the world is really important, right? So make sure that when you're creating your brand, that it's not what you think others want to see, that it's really who you are. Because when you are building a business or creating any kind of social media presence, you want to attract people. Your ideal audience is oftentimes people who are going to resonate best with you. And if you're trying to attract some kind of audience that is not like-minded or similar in some way to you, then you're not going to resonate with them and it's not going to work for you. So create a brand that is yourself, and you will attract like-minded people who have similar things that are important to them, right? I have an online business, and the majority of the people that I work with in my online business are people who really value their families and are creating their online businesses to make a big difference in their children's futures. And those are the people that I work with and that I help often. And so that's who I attract because of the brand I put out there. So anyway, I hope you guys have an absolutely fabulous Tuesday, and that you have learned something. I always tell everybody, go and learn something every day, because when we learn something every day, we are growing into better people. So I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you guys later. I am going to log off now, and thanks so much. Don't forget to join us tomorrow as well. We have another beautiful presentation.